World champions on board, they're bred. Everything is me, myself, and I, and creativity doesn't just work like that. It takes people. We're all born with creativity. Your purpose was not meant to be what it was when you started. You have to keep going back. Abundance comes with the ability to be content with what you need, what you can have, and what was written for you. My rule for the last 18 years has been one for love, one for money. You can teach someone skill, you can't teach them how to be a good person. I'm not meant to succeed the first time. You're supposed to go back and fail. Go back, learn, process, and come back.
How do you balance ambition with contentment?
I think I'll be content when I die. I think till then, I don't think there's another way.
Today's guest is Uzair Merchant, a multi-award winning filmmaker, designer, and the founder of B Creative Productions. He's worked on everything from Deadpool to Skyfall and Star Trek, beyond to building his own creative universe, blending art, technology, and spirituality. If you have ever felt stuck in your own creativity, doubted your path, or wondered how to turn your wildest ideas into reality, this episode is for you. In this conversation, we'll go beyond the movie sets and world records to uncover how you can unlock your own creativity, building something that lasts and find meaning in your work, even when the world says it's impossible. Uzair, I could list your credits, but I want to hear it from you. You are at a dinner party and you meet someone random and they ask you who you are really. What would you say?
I'm an artist. That's it. I really don't care about what the background is. I'm an artist. And so my medium changes. I work in different mediums within the arts, film, music, theme parks, from design, writing, directing, producing. So I have different avenues, but I'm an artist. That's my introduction. I'm an artist. If someone wants to know more, they'll find out. I'm an artist.
Coming to the artist part, creativity. So I'm really curious to know about, is creativity someone born with, or can anyone build it?
Let me reverse question you. Do each one of us not have an individual identity?
We do.
We're all born with creativity. That's the proof of it. If we each have our own fingerprint, if we each have our own DNA, we're all individually unique. On a universal level, we were all individually born to be unique. Does creativity exist in everyone? Absolutely 100%. It's where can we apply it? How do we stay focused to harness it? So I have this saying I tell like close friends of mine, world champions aren't born, they're bred. There's a reason for that. So if you understand that mindset is to operate at the highest level, you have to put in that much to go into that. So if you're not putting in that time and effort to constantly harness, creativity isn't a genie. It's not going to come to you and be like, hey, guess what? Here. How many times have you heard someone saying, oh, I had that idea too? Or you're thinking to yourself, or you see someone do it and you're like, oh my God, I had that idea too, but you didn't do anything about it.
That's right.
You see, we live in a universal consciousness. In the universal consciousness, information is shared. Every time we go to sleep, that's cross-pollination of information.
Okay. What do you mean by cross-pollination?
When you go to sleep, do we know where your soul goes?
No.
Yet, scientifically, your brain activity in your subconscious mind is more powerful than your conscious mind. So clearly, it's somewhere. Half your life, you live consciously, but half of the life is lived subconsciously. That subconscious usually has no idea of social norms, does not understand social class, does not understand wealth, how hierarchies set, colonialism, war, goodness, love, money, doesn't understand that. We take it from our conscious mind into our subconscious mind, which what affects it. But babies dream, animals dream, and so do we. And even when you're newly born, a child can dream, but there's no information that's gone in, yet they're able to dream. That's pure creativity. And I think we get so tainted with how the world puts you in these different areas of this is what you should do and shouldn't do and can do and can't do, it affects how we can be creative. When I teach university students or students around the world, or I do master classes, I have a rule, which is we never say think out of the box. And I've said this 100 times.
You
in
never
different
say
places.
think out of the box.
Yeah, that's the one rule everyone has to follow in my class.
But don't you think at a lot of universities they teach, okay, how are you going to think out of the box?
Correct. And I have a question for them. Who created the box, and does it have a roof and a door in it? I've had this conversation with C-suite level CEOs, universities, professors, filmmakers from around the world. I guarantee you, every single time, same reaction. Someone says, think out of the box. Look at them and go, does the box have a roof and a door? And they'll look at you like, what? Where did that come from? My question is, who created the box? And why am I coming out of that? The idea to begin mentally is to create. Change the shape. Think out of a circle, a triangle, a trapezoid, whatever that individual DNA that was given to you figures to be the shape of choice. When you say think out of the box, two things have happened. One, you put yourself in four corners. That's prison. Now you have to come out of this. So everyone was told think out of the box because we were all kept in a prison. Generationally, go back. Look at it. That's where, slavery comes from. Comes from that mindset. We will tell you where you can come out of and where you can't come out of. To me, that's not creativity. That's control. Creativity should be the ability to free flow think.
Right.
So change the shape.
So what I got the understanding of cross-pollination and how we get ideas is the ideas are just traveling and it comes to you as well.
Yeah.
But whoever executes it first gets it first.
100%. And I think we're living in this very self-included world where everything is me, myself, and I. And creativity doesn't just work like that. It takes people.
That's right.
It takes people to, especially with what we do in film, it takes a village to make a film. So every single person has a role that's important enough to make collective vision come to life.
That's right.
I think we're lacking that today. Yeah. So creativity is it's getting affected because creativity was not meant to go viral.
So Uzair, you have worked in world's biggest films, but you're also building your own universe from scratch. Did you ever doubt your creativity or feel like an outsider?
Yeah, I always feel like an outsider because my soul didn't come from here. I can't feel like I am from here. I belong to Earth because I was put here, but I am an outsider. So I'm going to take stories that come from anywhere and everywhere in my head. And that's kind of how it led me to build my own universe. I think in my world, I wanted to find something that was relatable, not just to myself, but also culturally, where I come from. There was nothing while I was growing up in that light that I could look up to in that sense, right? And so when I started working in film, I was like, I want to go build something where I can see the next generation of kids being like, oh, that's the character I want to look up to.
Yeah.
I was lucky to work on Superman and Lois, right? The TV show. Superman's not from Earth.
Yeah.
He's not from here.
Yeah, he's not.
He came in. We adopted him as Earth's son and, a character based out of here. And that kind of ideology in my head was, if we can do that to an outsider, can we do that to our own characters? And if we can do that, then we can culturally accept them. So recently, you've seen the lights of the Wakandas and the Black Panthers.
Yeah.
And I think in that world of what inclusion means, we're getting somewhere a little bit. But I think we're so far from it. There's so many culturally rooted stories that does not involve every single story where New York needs to be saved. And I have nothing against New York. I've lived in New York. I love New York. But every film cannot end with an agenda of it's always the West.
Yeah.
I just don't agree with it. Have you ever heard of a person called Mansa Musa?
Mansa Musa? No, never.
You see, nobody talks about Mansa Musa, but Google him today. He was the richest man to ever walk the face of this planet.
Richest man?
Ever.
Wow.
Ever. His wealth was so much that I don't even think there's a full number on it exactly, but it was in the billions way
Okay.
more than Elon Musk and blah, 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 blah,
Oh
blah.
my God.
Like even now,
Yeah.
if you Google the list, Mansa Musa, right on the top. We don't talk about him. We don't learn about him in history. We learn about, the likes of the Bill Gates and blah, 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 blah. Mansa Musa was a prince from Mali.
Oh, he was a prince from Mali.
He was a prince from Mali
Okay.
who went on a pilgrimage to Mecca and on his way donated most of his wealth. We don't make films about that, right? There's power in that. There's power in where those stories come from. And I believe in those stories. You take facts and myths to create fiction. That's my universe. It's called the creative universe. And that's what I did. I took facts with my own world to create fiction. So it was facts and myth to create fiction. So I took the story of Adam and Eve from the start of time, through time, and put it through every single scientific kind of breakthrough that went in. From immortality to transcendence, to AI, to books like the Voynich manuscript, which is an actual book written that no one knows what language it came out in, but has all these images. So I took all these bits of current life and said, well, what if Adam and Eve went through past, present, and future and had these other characters and their bloodline kind of continued in some way? What would that be like? And how would they navigate? So that's what the creative universe
That's
is
so
about.
interesting to know, man. Like, how would their bloodline would look like?
Yeah. And so in fact, one of my characters in that is actually called Musa, and I just released a music album for Musa. And there's actually a song where he talks about Mansa Musa, kind of channeling Mansa Musa from 1,000 years ago through it. And to me, it's that kind of, if we can educate through art, but also keep it rooted in culture, I think we can dream a lot more because then
That's
it's
true.
possible.
That's true.
Yeah.
So I'm really curious to know about what did it feel like for a kid growing up in Dubai, dreaming about movies, to working into Hollywoods and now creating your own world.
Surreal, unreal, absolutely unreal. If you asked me through high school, hey, you can go work in Hollywood, I'd say you're crazy. That didn't happen because I grew up in Dubai in the 90s.
Yeah.
We had no industry. I mean, there's barely an industry now. And there was nothing back then. I grew up watching films with my mom and dad. And Hollywood for me was watching films with my dad where they would rent cassettes from a video library. And once a week, we'd sit down and, they'd have their friends over. And it was this rented VCR. And they'd put in this film and then watch it. And then after that, we got these VCDs, if you remember, right?
Yeah.
That had multiple films.
Yeah.
And so my dad would watch all these films, and that was my entry into watching film. And he was a big fan of action films and stuff. So I would sit down and watch like a Bruce Lee film with him like 5 times.
Yeah.
Because he'd like it, and I'd be like, oh my God, like let's watch it. But also because I trained karate for like 30 years.
Wow.
And so for me, it was the way of bonding. So he would show me these films and I'm like, oh my God. And I would try to take something and go to the dojo and try to try and imitate or copy that of like, hey, Bruce Lee was using nunchucks. I want to go try some nunchuck. And I went and actually, and studied nunchuck. But that was the world for me. It was visual. It was pure dreamland.
Yeah.
So when the ability of like, hey, you know what? I have this possibility of doing this. I don't think I ever doubted it. Ever.
Ever.
I think what I doubted was, is it my path? I never doubted the ability of, can I do it? The ability was, is this for me? Is this what my soul was sent here to do? And I think that for me was a big correction learning of spending the first 15 years of my professional career going into the Hollywood system and blah, 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 and kind of learning and growing and educating myself to then going, wait, is this my path? No, my path was to actually go and create to inspire. So, which is why when you asked me before, how do you introduce yourself? I said artist, because my medium changed. It was either making music or writing or directing or designing, whatever the medium may be, but the path was create to inspire. There's a Japanese term called Ikigai.
Yep.
You heard of Ikigai?
Yes.
Right? Your Ikigai, your purpose was not meant to be what it was when you started. You have to keep going back. Your Ikigai 10 years ago is not your Ikigai today. And it's not going to be in 10 years. If you ask me this question, maybe in 10 years, I'm going to give you a different answer.
Right.
But I'll always be an artist. That will not change. That is my path. I was born to be an artist. I will die being an artist.
Yeah, because I think it's really tough in this generation because it's so easy to get distracted and overwhelmed with so many things out there that you can't decide and find that one thing that you need to do for now. So, how did you get so clear about it that, okay, I am meant for this, I'm just gonna become an artist, I'm just gonna create?
I still constantly play with that idea of how to do it. Like I said, I don't doubt the end process goal, but it's how do I get there is purely on breaking down structure. Okay, if I need to get XYZ out, what is the starting point? Who else has done this? Find paths of people that either have resonated with you, that you can get inspired from. There's always something to learn and pick up from, not from one person, but from multiple people.
Yeah.
And so for me, it was, okay, who do I want to emulate to create? And for me personally, it was James Cameron, Steve Jobs, and Muhammad Ali. And at some point, I then started following Stan Lee's path. And I kind of took these four and went, okay, how can I navigate these four worlds? Because you had, the likes of Steve Jobs, who affected 4 industries.
Yeah.
James Cameron, multiple industries. But funny enough, James Cameron, Hitchcock, Ridley Scott, they all came from an art background. They all came up as art directors or like designers. So I'm like, hey, you know what? That's my path. If that's what I'm going to do, that's how I'm going to start. So I put myself through that process. Okay, I'm going to go study production design. I'm going to go and learn how to design film, because if I can learn how to design film, I know how to make film, and then I can learn the skills along the way. So I kind of took these paths of going, okay, and then what did Steve Jobs do at that point in his career? Oh, he went and put money into investing into tech for this. I'm like, okay, cool. Let me see if I can try that. And then I did. So I started investing into redeveloping money for the future of film and tech. And then little by little, it's like you kind of build and you kind of find a path along the way, but you have to constantly go back to, okay, if I need to go here, what is that process? What is step 1? Because yes, step 10 looks like it's far away,
Yeah.
but you got to start at 1.
That's right.
So what is 1, 2, 3, and 4? And each job is different. Each project is different. Break it down, get realistic with yourself. It's good to dream. I'm a dreamer. But then there's a realism that comes into it. For me to dream, I have to be realistic. I have 24 hours today. What can I get done today, in this day? I don't know if there's tomorrow, right? I don't know if I'm going to wake up in the morning. But today, I can finish everything that I can and go to sleep knowing I gave it my best today. And if you do that, day 2, day 3, before you know, you've had 10 amazing days. And you got a few steps out. That's it. Progress.
So is this the same process to build the creative confidence? So for someone who's listening and they start to feel that their idea isn't that great
Yeah.
and they're lacking that creative confidence, is this the same process to build that?
Yes. And I think a couple of questions to ask yourself, because if someone's feeling my idea is not good enough, no idea that started out as an idea is its finished product. So whatever idea you're starting out with, I guarantee you that's not going to be its final output. That's a starting point. Maybe someone else has also had this idea. They're going to have a different approach. You're going to have a different approach. That's the uniqueness of it. As human beings, we are insecure. As artists, we're insecure because, hey, will someone like my work, not like my work? And it's very hard, even me personally, it's very hard to kind of put that line of going, oh, if someone doesn't like it, ooh, what's that going to make me feel? I actually had to really embrace it. So I'll ask people, hey, if you didn't like it, tell me. Tell me what you didn't like. Not because I want to please you, because now it gives me another perspective. So the next time I'm going to keep that in mind. I'm not here to please everybody. That's not my job.
That's right.
That's not my aim. My aim is to inspire. Today, it can be 5. Hopefully, 50 years after I'm dead, maybe it's 1 million.
So as you mentioned earlier in our talk about cosmic reality
Yeah.
and being a spiritual traveler,
Yeah.
how does that shape your work and your self-belief?
Ooh, that's a constant battle. That's a constant battle. And I have to be fully honest about it, because understanding we are spiritual beings having a human experience, it's easy to get lost in the human experience because it's here,
Yeah.
right? And so I have to constantly pull myself back. I find it hard from time to time. And then I have to constantly make decisions of, I will not go out or I won't attend this event because today is the day I need to meditate and mentally cleanse. You know, as a Muslim artist that also is rooted, you know, in the martial arts culture, the one thing that's always kept me grounded is karate. I've been in a dojo since I was 3. So before I understood love, friendships, religion, arts, whatever it may be, I was in a dojo. There was rules, compassion, empathy, learn to take someone, you know, someone's telling you something, learn to take that with respect, not with attitude. There's rules set in the martial arts world.
Yeah.
Those are the rules I live by because it's so deeply rooted in me is respect rank, respect everyone around you. And if you want to create with people, you have to allow them safe space. If they're not allowed to make mistakes, they will never be able to give you their best version.
That's true.
So for me, when I go to create spaces, I try to put myself there going, how vulnerable can I be in this place that allows this person to then be vulnerable enough? And now we have common ground.
That's right.
And now in this common ground, magic will happen.
So I think a lot of people who are listening, they, in their specific creative fields, even after achieving at some point, they feel imposters. Did you ever feel like you didn't belong, and how did you move through that?
I still don't feel I belong. I'm a third culture kid. I was born in India, but I never lived there. I grew up in Dubai, but I'm not from here, but I spent my entire childhood and schooling here. I then spent the last 17 years outside between the UK and, you know, the States and Canada. I am Canadian, but I'm still Indian. But I don't fully resonate on either side. I'm more connected to the Arabic Emirati culture because I grew up here.
Right.
So where do I really fit in? I still constantly ask myself that. Where do I fit in? Where the arts are. Put me in any country, any place in the world, group of artists, you guys are my people. I'll find any way to level with you because I know that we can level. When you go through personal cycles, keeping professional aside, I think that's where the imposter syndrome kind of happens. Am I good enough? Will this be good enough? It's because I think when you go through personal things in your life, you know, everyone goes through highs and lows and you lose people and you lose loved ones and, you know, people have issues. That's life. I think that's the most important time to find grounding. Yeah, which is hard.
And I think if you really want to go ahead, don't wait for permissions. Take those small steps and just keep executing them. You will find the next step to take.
100%.
Yeah.
Unless you're filming around, then take permits. Don't film without permits. But no, you're right. Yeah, you got to be unapologetic and then just go for it. That's the only way.
Yeah, that's how you're going to learn.
That's
If you just keep cooking in your head, you're never going to make it.
No, you got to get it out.
That's right.
And then you go back and you go back and you go back. Which is why I said world champions are not born. They're bred. That's the mindset. If you want to think and operate at that level, you got to think world championship mindset.
That's right.
Which is, that's my craft. That's what I do. And that's what I will keep doing till I perfect every element back and forth. And that's constant.
So coming to the next question now. Can you really build a career around your art without losing your soul? You have worked with global brands and blockbuster films, but you also run your own indie projects. How do you balance that commercial work and your personal projects?
My rule for the last 18 years has been one for love, one for money. That's my rule. So you do one to pay bills and grow and learn, and one is for the heart. You know, you probably heard people say when you work in film, you need a side project or a side gig to kind of pay the bills, right? My side job was film. So I started bottom up, making teas, coffees, loading cables, bro, all the way.
Wow.
Yeah, that was earlier, 17, 18 years old. I was doing 600-700 cups of tea and coffee a day.
On the film sets?
Yeah, bro.
Wow.
And for free. You started out working for free because who's going to pay you? You're an intern, right? and I didn't mind. I loved it because I was on a set. I'm getting to learn. It's very, very important. It's very important to keep going and kind of understanding where you come from and how you can piece that in. If you just sit down and wait for someone to come to you, it doesn't happen. Indie projects for me was my way of taking everything I learned on the big sets and applying it in the indie world. Those are worlds that I very deeply care about. My crew is like a family. We're super tight. We're very close with each other. We have a really good like relationship because we're all looking out for each other. Someone has something, we'll cover, no problem. This probably won't happen on a big film set. But in this world, I'm like, if I can take everything I've learned there and apply it here, now I'm elevating everyone here too, which means now our work's going to go 5 times more.
That's right.
And now this is going to become more. And I think that's the last 3-4 years at least, that's been my main core process of going, okay, I've spent over 15 years on the other side. These last 3 years for me now, like, let's go build our own studio, our own model, our own cycle of how we can do this now at that level without having to be with the big studios, right? So I think I'm in that transition of swapping.
So you're like you're being frugal to find ways to make it work how these big studios are working. But you are not just trying to find your own way to make it work. And
I would say finding the most compassionate way to look out for my people. Because we have to look out for each other as artists.
How does that affect your work or your environment at work?
The most important thing is no matter how long or tiring an indie project gets, it doesn't feel it. Because there's so much love that it doesn't matter. Someone's like, we were doing shoots last week and we had some of our crew members, they were working all day, but then our shoot was through the night. And they were there because they were like, oh, we're going to have FOMO if we don't come.
Yeah.
Like literally, because they were like, we want to be there. Like, because we know it's going to be fun.
Yeah.
Right? On a normal job, it's like, man, I've clocked out for the day. I'm too tired.
That's right.
But this was more like a recharge. And I think that's the most important thing for me is like when I can get, crew going home going, I feel inspired today. I try my best to create a good, safe working environment. Yeah. It's like every time I finish a film or finish a project, the first day or so, I'm like, it feels like PTSD where I'm like, wait, the madness just stopped. Like, I don't know what to do with my life.
Yeah.
Like you're going hours every day and, all these crazy things happening. And then day one after closing, you wake up in the morning, you're like, what am I supposed to do with my life now? And then the next day you realize, oh my God, I miss it. As crazy as it was, I miss it. There's this feeling of, my God, I need more.
Yeah.
I want to go back. I need that rush again. And then you go back and do the cycle all over again. And that's why it's like, even till today, it's that feeling. To me, if I lose that feeling, something's wrong. I've lost my craft. If I lose that feeling. I think that's my biggest fear, losing my love for my craft. So I'm like, every day, this bit inside my head that's going, I need to do something today to keep myself inspired.
Right.
Because I'd never want to get there. What if I get to that point where I don't love my craft anymore because, the money is so important now that or society or blah, blah, blah. Like, I never want to let any of that get into my little safe space, which is me and my craft.
So was there a moment where you were tempted by the paycheck to give up your creative control?
Yes, there have been. And mainly when I was running my production company here in Dubai, because we had, full-time staff. We had about 12 people, went up to 15 at some point. When I started my production company, for the first year, I was working individually on film and sets while running a company and team of 6. We started out with 6 people. So I was working full-time while running this. So we'd be having clients and projects happening in our back end. And I would be filming 12 hours a day to make sure that I'm not a burden on my company, so that I'm not withdrawing money from my company. Because for me, hey, people have to get paid, salaries have to get paid, and stuff like that. So I was still doing stuff on the side. And I think at some point through my second year running the company, I was like, okay, I need to be here more for us to scale. Because, I can't scale without me being here. And I think at that point in the second and third year, We ended up taking projects just because it was great money. Internally, creative wise, nothing. But it was a great paycheck, which meant everyone gets their salary, everyone gets a bonus out of it, everyone's happy. So I think for me, it was my crew is happy and they're well paid. Don't worry, we'll go and find one to do for the love. And I think that was the adjustment I had to make that time.
And what's the hardest decision you have made to protect your creative integrity?
I've said no to jobs without even thinking twice, just because it didn't align. My creative integrity, and this is going to be full disclosure, I've turned down a few times now money from investors without even blinking because their money wasn't clean. And when I asked them, can you tell me the source of your funds? They're like, that's none of your business. Thank you very much. I'm not going to take your money. And it was a lot of money. A lot of people told me I'm crazy because it could be life-changing. Absolutely could have been. That's fine. My life is changing anyways. I'll do it in my own way. But yeah, absolutely. Many times over, someone's offered me money like that. And I'm like, I won't do it.
So for someone who's listening, who's afraid to sell out or feels pressure to compromise, what's your advice for them to staying true to their vision?
Close your eyes at night when you lay in bed and ask yourself, can you sleep in peace knowing that you won't wake up tomorrow? That's what it is for me. I have to go to bed every night knowing that the next morning when I wake up, I don't owe anyone anything, one. And two, if I don't wake up, nobody owes anyone on behalf of me. If you can be okay with the decisions that you made and sleep in peace, then I'm no one to judge. Unto each his own. You do you. For me, on a personal, spiritual, creative level, I'm answerable. One day I have to answer for my time and my money. What did I do with my time? And where did I spend my money? We're all answerable. Because, money's energy, right? It's paper. We've created value out of it.
Yeah.
So I am answerable for that time. And if anyone out there has this doubt, go to bed, close your eyes, and be answerable to yourself and say, am I okay with what I've made a decision of? But if you can be fully honest with yourself and internally, your soul knows. Your soul knows what your mind doesn't, because your mind is tainted by society. Your soul was pure. It came and will go in its purest form. So you got to dig in. Am I okay or not okay? And if you feel a little bit, and if you have to question yourself, it's probably not okay.
That's a really good reflection, I would say, because if I have to question myself regarding something, I think I'm not actually questioning myself. I am trying to convince myself to do that.
Yep. And we can all convince ourselves because as human beings, we find reasons to, right?
Yeah.
We find reasons on anything. Oh yeah, that's fine. I'll find a reason to make that okay. If you have to do that, it's already wrong.
Yeah.
You don't already stop. You get what I mean? That's the tell right there.
Yeah, if you have to think, then you're
already there.
Yeah.
And so sometimes I'll get young students in through school or high school, and the most common question is, you talk about intuition, how do you tap into it? And the easiest way I can explain to them is, if you have to ask yourself the question and you have to think twice, it's already a no. Have you heard of this Arabic word called baraka?
Baraka.
Baraka.
No.
In Hindi, barakat.
Barakat. Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Comes from baraka. Baraka means abundance. Right? I can give you 1,000 dirhams right now, and you give me 100. And we meet in 1 hour. And you say, oh, look, I bought this shirt for 1,000 dirhams. And I tell you, oh, I bought a shirt, I ate some food, and then I got some taxi money saved up. And you're like, oh, I bought a shirt for 1,000, but I didn't get any food, and I don't have taxi money to go home, but I have this amazing shirt, right? You're still not fully satisfied. And I'm looking at you going, well, I bought something and ate, and I have taxi money.
Yeah.
The 100 was sufficient enough for me to fill my needs. That's baraka. It's abundance. Abundance does not come with zeros. It comes with the ability to be content with what you need, what you can have, and what was written for you. And if something is not written for you and you go chasing it, you're going to burn. And for me, I put that in my film world. Oh, we have 100,000 to make a film instead of 1 million. Well, how can we make this 100,000 worth 1 million? That's art. right? But you can give out anyone the million, but they might taint it. The film may never come out.
That's right.
But guess what? I'm going to take the 100, I'm going to make the film, and we're going to come out the other side.
If you're afraid of selling out, define your non-negotiables before you start negotiating.
You should know what you're willing to give up,
Yeah,
what you're willing to give up, and what you're not willing to give up.
right.
Like, I'm willing to give up sleep, not my integrity. I'll work 5 hours more. No problem. I'll eat one meal less. No problem. But I'm not selling out.
So lots of people start to think, I'm scared to put myself out there, or I have been rejected so many times, I want to give up. How do I keep going? You have built a career across continents, and now you are creating your own Marvel-like universe. What's the biggest rejection or failure you have faced? And how did you bounce back?
When I started coming up with this creative universe about 14 years ago now, I was told, this is too big. It's going to be too expensive. Why are you trying to do this? Go find something else to do. I was like, cool. Thank you. The same person, about 4 or 5 years after that, called me up, said, hey, listen, remember the thing that you showed me? Is it still there? Do you still have that script? Because there is something I see. The reason he said that is because when I came up with this, I was thinking about, I'm talking 14 years ago, right? I was talking about cross mediums in my universe. So what you talk about now with Web3 and like building out multiple branches, I was talking about this at that time, going, I'm going to build this universe that's going to be able to have an ability where people can use prompt words and create. There was no AI. I didn't know about AI. It didn't exist. But in my world, this was the possibility of, I'm going to make a world where other people can make their worlds and they can play and sell and buy and turn it into a commerce trading so that characters can come to life.
Oh my God. I mean, this happened 14 years ago when you had no clue about AI.
Yeah, but I was VR game testing in the year 2001 in Dubai when I was 10 years old. Full haptic suit VR game testing.
Yeah.
So I was living in that world long before people got into what VR and stuff is right now.
Yeah.
So as a kid, I was already there. So when I started building out this universe, I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but I always live in a very futuristic sense. And for me, I was like, well, of course this is where it's going. Like, this is the future. We're going to end up with this where we're going to have blah, 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 blah. And people are like, you're crazy. This is going to happen when you're 50 or maybe after you die. It's too far away. That same person called me back in 5 years going, hey, listen, you have that script? And I was like, yo, he goes, oh yeah, I remember the thing you told me about. Yeah. I see some movement on it. And I said to him on the phone, sure, I'll let you back in on the project, but this time not as a partner. I will hire you. There's the difference. Because the first time I came to you, you didn't believe in it. Now you see the potential. Now you just gave me validation. But you need to know that if you had trusted me the first time, I came to you with trust. What you saw was an economic benefit only now.
Yeah.
So we'll keep it at that. Sure, I'll do business with you,
Right.
but not on that level. Right? So I've seen that for me a few times. I built the first ever NFT music video in the world in Vancouver.
Wow.
And this was in the year 2021. This is when NFTs had just come out, but everyone was doing images. So I went and built a whole new way of how you can take a music video that was linked to my book that I published for my script and created an entire subscription agreement, a lawyer document with the SEC in Vancouver, and showed them how I can link a real asset to a digital asset and link them in a way that my crew can also have a piece in it. And you can use this model to go and raise money as artists, because that's how IP can be protected from a physical and digital sense. So in fact, the hash of that music video that was moved to a cold wallet is still sitting in a bank vault in Vancouver to prove this entire cycle model. So I was doing this stuff where people look at me like, why are you doing this? Now you go around, there's something called tokenization that's become a buzzword.
Okay.
That's what it was.
Wow.
So FNFT, you'll find articles with it saying the first FNFT video, FNFT being fractional NFTs. So you can buy fractions now of Bitcoins and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Well, also there's other programs on blockchain where you can buy fractions of something, which is basically like shares, right? And so I was doing this with that world from that time. So along the way, there's a lot of people that are like, hey, I don't see it. I don't make sense of this. This is too far-fetched, too expensive. That's fine. You don't see it. That's not your problem. That's okay. I'm okay with that. If you don't see it, you just don't live far ahead with me. It's fine. A time will come. And the ones who see it, they see it. So for me, rejection is like, okay, you don't get it. That's fine. But when you have the curiosity, give me a call.
So you talk about being a spiritual traveler and moving in flow.
Yeah.
How do you handle uncertainty and setbacks?
Everything was written. Before the get-go, everything was written. I think you have to find peace knowing uncertainty was also written. The sun shines after every storm. You don't know when the storm is going to end, but you know for sure when it does, the sun will come back. I think you have to, especially as an artist in film, you have to learn to be okay with the uncertainty. I think the biggest problem is when the uncertainty affects other people that you care about. I think that's the big problem.
Yeah.
I am okay with the uncertainty, but if I had kids or people around me that they have to now deal with my uncertainty, I have to ask myself, is that fair? One, and two, what toll does it take on them? Right? And I think that's the part wherein I don't know if I fully have an answer of, but currently I'm okay with uncertainty because it's just, I have to deal with myself. If I had to put food on the table no matter what, and I had kids and I had to do another job because that's what that needed, would I do it? Maybe I would. That's the balance line, is when it's beyond me. I'm okay till it's me. When it goes beyond me, I think that's when it gets a bit tricky. Yeah.
And it's a really good point that you made, because I think a lot of people gonna relate to this. I know this feeling. I mean, I am good with uncertainty.
Yeah.
I don't mind.
Yeah.
But when it starts affecting people around me,
Correct.
that's when it starts affecting us.
Yes. Because you can't be in flow. You can't be in that perfect state. I was telling you earlier, my dad passed away 3 years ago, right? And before he passed away, he had a cardiac arrest that left him in a pretty non-mobile state. So he couldn't move, couldn't talk, couldn't walk. About 17 months. Deep uncertainty. That was through COVID. It was probably one of the hardest times in my life because I had to find a way to create balance and create and explore while the world is navigating something called COVID, which was new to everybody. And I think the most important thing it taught me was you can only control the 24 hours you have in the day. If you try to control anything above and beyond, that's not in your hands, which is why I said it's written. That journey is written. I'm going to control what's in my capacity to the best of my ability. And beyond that,
Yeah, the result is not in your hand. What's going to
it's not
happen
in my
after
hand.
that? Yeah.
It's not in my hand. And so if I think I can control it, I'm lying to myself. And if I'm lying to myself now, I'm going to lie to my team and my people around and the project and the art. It's tainted.
So for someone who's listening and they're feeling stuck, that, oh, there's nothing happening, what's the first step to moving forward?
Find inspiration. Find inspiration. And you can do it in ways you cannot even imagine. Last week, I went through a phase of creating where I was like, oh, I feel like I'm stuck. I think for 3 days straight, I was walking on Kite Beach for about an hour and a half each day, just clearing. And along the way, whatever came into my head, I started writing. If you can be open and receptive to taking in, if I am tuned on that frequency, I will find it. So now that you know it is in your head, you're going to spot it, right?
That's right.
You're going to see it.
That's right.
Because you tuned in. If you're stuck, depending on what it is you're stuck in, you tell yourself, I need to be inspired. Cool. Let me go and put myself in places to be inspired. So if you can appreciate these moments of like, I'm getting to witness something that will not happen again. And I am part of this process. And how do I make myself useful in this process? Then inspiration will come to you because you're going to seek it.
Right.
But you have to go and seek it constantly.
You can't be lying on your bed looking at the ceiling and hoping that, oh, inspiration will come to me. You have to put yourself out there in situations where it's gonna come to you.
Yeah. If you're in bed and you're looking at that ceiling, I would say close your eyes and go into a deep meditation, and you'll probably come out inspired on the other side.
Yeah.
Not the way that you want it, though.
Mhm.
But what are you going to do with it?
Yeah.
You're right? Because you may wake up from a deep meditation going, oh, I feel all this anxiety and blah, 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 blah. What are you going to do with this anxiety now?
Yeah.
Because as human beings, all we can do is process emotion.
Mm.
It only exists now. Beyond that, it's ego. It's like if I'm feeling angry or upset about something that happened yesterday, that's my ego holding me back on something that is gone. And I think that ability to move on is very important because as human beings, including myself, we go through these phases, right?
Yeah.
Something's hurt you or you're going through pain, you're going through emotion, you're stuck there and you're like, oh, I can't get past that. And I think if you want to find inspiration, go find these moments of your life that are not letting you go past and heal.
Our society has programmed us in a way where we try to avoid failures.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever have a moment where you realized failure was actually teacher or was teaching you?
My entire career. I'm not meant to succeed the entire time, the first time. You're supposed to go back and fail. How many companies in the world right now, tech companies, put their major spend in research and development? Their biggest spend is R&D, right? Research, develop. Research, that's failure.
Yeah, that's right.
That's failure.
Yeah.
Research and development is failure. In my world, failure doesn't exist. If I got it right the first time, to me, that's a problem. That's a problem because I'm like, oh, I didn't push it enough because it happened too quick. No. Sometimes magic happens. Great. Very rare moments like, oh my God, first time it happened. But then I'm going to second guess it and go, really? And that's the intuition going, if it felt right, you would have not thought that. You got to go back. That's R&D. Will it be perfect as an artist? Very hard to say because we can keep going, right? The arts is subjective. I can sit and edit a film till the end of time and never be happy with it. But you put a clock and you set a time and a deadline. That's where the discipline comes. Discipline is important. You have to be accountable to yourself. To me, I'm like, why do you need someone else to make you accountable? I can see it working. Why can't you be accountable to yourself?
That's true.
Hold yourself to account. Yeah. I write contracts for myself. I will hold myself accountable for it. Deadline is deadline.
Yeah.
Must get it. No matter what. Must happen. Because if you're not accountable to you, if I give my word to someone tomorrow, I must be held accountable for that.
That's right.
So it starts internally.
If you're facing a rejection, if you're facing a failure, ask yourself, okay, what is it trying to teach me
Yeah.
for the next move?
100%. No failure. Let's start this. Failure isn't failure. Let's start there. It's research and development.
Just change the
Change
name
the
from
word.
failure to R&D.
A no means I need to go back and work on it or someone else will give me a yes. And if someone has taken time to go through something that you've shown or given them and they're rejecting you, there's still merit in that. They gave you time. They could have said no. Thank you for your time. There's value in that. Take it. In fact, go and ask them the opposite question. What didn't you like? They'll tell you. If they're telling you I didn't like it, they're going to tell you, I don't like this, 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 this. Amazing. Take it down. Go and ask 5 other people. Out of those 5 points, if 5 other people gave you any of those points, there's truth in it. Go back and fix it. That's the development. That's the research and then the development.
Yes.
So you go back and you ask people around. So sometimes I'll do it with me. Sometimes I'll do a design or something that I really like. And I'll put it in our team and say, guys, vote. And sometimes they'll vote against it. And I'm like, cool. That's fine. We have 6 people voting. 5 said no. I'm with you guys.
Yeah.
Okay, what didn't you guys like? What do you want to change? Boom, 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 boom. So sometimes if I can't decide, I can easily say, yeah, this is it. And they'll probably take it. But that's not what is going out. So as an audience, I'm like, oh, you got to respect what people are going to see. So I'm going to do my research internally. Hey, give me feedback. Feedback is the best.
So you're not just making films, you're building a whole creative universe with original IP, books, music, and even NFTs. Where did that vision coming from?
I think that was kind of my sole purpose that I realized at a certain point. I was given the ability to piece multimedia together in a way that most people don't understand, and they're not able to see how the puzzle fits.
Yeah.
I was obsessed with solving puzzles. There was nothing that would ever come into our house that was electronic that I would not open and put back together
Yeah.
since I was a kid, right? Even if it was like a remote control toy car, open it up. I want to know how it works so I can put it back together. And that was how I always worked. So I think just that ability of being able to go back and forth again and again and again, I think it helps. It helps a lot. Just go back, learn, process, and come back. To me, to build these multi-mediums, along the way, you have to understand where you stand in that. So I'm not a musician, and I don't play instruments like other people who are amazing play instruments, but I understand music. So that to me, I'm like, that doesn't mean I can't make music. I can't sing like someone else, but that doesn't mean I can't make music. Find my place where I can go and work with people who are great at their craft. I think that vision for me came a long time ago because of this obsession of I want to be able to change multiple industries through my craft.
And that's what I've heard from a lot of people. They know their sole purpose, and when that happens, everything just start falling into a place when you're walking.
You're absolutely right. That sole purpose, when you find out, I didn't start with this. When I started out, it was, I want to go make my own universe. I want to go make my own universe and my characters and blah, 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 blah. Along the way, it didn't become about me. It was about everyone else. Because while doing this, or while attempting to do this, I realized, great, I'm making these tracks, but I'm making them with other artists who are getting their outlet. I'm writing these books that someone's reading that's like, oh my God, that story really inspired me. Or like, I'm like, cool. And I think it was that realization that this is not for me. This is for everyone else. I am not doing this for me because this was never meant to be for me. This was, one, for me, legacy for the next 10 generations that, has something that, hey, you know what? This changed something in humanity. But the most important side is, this is beyond me. This is way more than about me. This is about all the lives that we can touch and affect and inspire. And I think that became my drive. And until today, I think that's my biggest drive, is how can I go change the lives of people who don't have what I had, who don't have opportunity, who, like you said, grew up in the middle of nowhere. Because I grew up not knowing that I can ever do this. So I'm like, if I can make that process easier, where someone saved 5 years of their life without going through, the stuff that I went through, then I just bought them 5 years more. Guess what they can do in 5 years, right? And I think that's the most important thing. That's why it's called the creative universe. It was meant to be your creations in my universe.
Yeah. That was my inspiration also to start the mask with Abhivir, because I didn't want other Abhivir to go through all the struggles I have been through.
Yeah.
Just to learn and get where I am today.
Amazing. Yeah, you see, you understand that. Once that kind of thought process comes inside you, hey, this is not about me. This is way more than me. Then you start thinking differently. You align differently. Your process is different.
Yeah.
It's very different.
That's right.
Yeah.
So what's the first step to turning these wild ideas into real world project?
I will set out timelines usually. I'll set out timelines and then kind of break it down to by the day. How do I get to the end of the week with this? What do I need today? Okay, let's break down the day into 12 hours. Let's break down 12 hours into 3 sessions. Okay, that means I have 3 hours to do this. Let's start with that. Get that done. Then you have your next 3 hours. You have your next 3 hours. Cool, end of day. Did we get that? Great. Maybe day 2 or day 3, you're like, oh, I need to adjust something. Something's not working. That's the R&D part. You go back. So you adjust your timeline. But in my head, if I start something, I must finish it.
So you're kind of putting a structure there.
Structure. Structure has to come in.
So if you have idea coming in, first thing you do is break it down, make a structure, make a framework, how you're going to get through that.
Yeah. And then start with it. I said on camera 13, 14 years ago when I graduated from university, my first script that I wrote was my final project in university, which I designed. And our presentations were on camera. So like they were recorded. And I said in that presentation, I will start to make this in 13, 14 years. And I remember my professor was like, what do you mean in 13, 14 years? And I was like, yeah. It's going to grow with me. And then when it's ready, it will get out. And that's exactly kind of what happened. But it's that far for me to keep going at it, right? It's like you keep putting in the time and effort in.
Yeah.
It's not easy. That's the discipline, man. It's so important.
But did you just notice one thing when you said that in 13, 14 years and it's actually happening, that how much vibration your words carry?
Yeah.
Because I remember 2 years ago, I told my friend that, okay, I'm going to leave this job in 2 years. And even though wherever I stand, I ended up leaving it.
Amazing. See?
I was not even thinking about it. And suddenly I was like, okay.
Your soul. That was your soul talking.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the soul talking. And I think you respected what your soul said because you could have very easily gone with your mind and said, yeah, but what are you going to do if you quit? Don't quit because you're getting a paycheck and,
That's
stay here because this is the right thing to do as per societary norms, right?
Yeah.
But you listen to your soul and you're like, I don't care what happens because I need to do this.
Yeah.
And
there
it's
are
a leap
no
of faith.
rules. And there are no rules in souls, as you said. When you are on that level, there are no rules.
Yeah. And I think those rules are so cardinal in its core that those soul rules belong to everyone. Soul doesn't have skin color, religion, place, passport, nothing.
Yeah.
Soul is in its purest form. We all share that basic DNA line.
Yeah.
Then comes everything else. If you can tap in there, all souls have basic information. We have it.
How do you get others to believe in your vision, like collaborators, investors, and the audiences? How do you get them to believe in your vision?
You should ask my team that, because sometimes I literally look at them and go like, you guys are crazy to believe me on this. Like sometimes I will tell them and they're like, no, we believe you. And I'm like, why? Why do you guys believe me on this? I think it's just internal conviction. If I know it and I feel it, and if I tell you and you can feel that I feel it, I think that's the power. And I think there's an honesty to it. Because a vision is a vision, and there's a certain level of honesty that goes with, hey, look, we need to get this from here to here. This is what it's going to take. This is the hurdles that will come through. This is the issues we can possibly face. This is how we can problem solve. This is where we need to put work in. I don't know how we're going to solve this problem yet. We'll get to that when we get there. Are you in or not? If they can see this, I think this is the most important thing. And I think it comes with trust. With my teams, we've been through so many years together. I think we've built a certain level of trust wherein we'll go to war with it, knowing that we have each other's back.
Yeah.
It's kind of that, it's army mindset.
The camaraderie.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You look left, you look right. These are the people who are going to protect me no matter what. And you go through. And I think it comes with being real, being open to vulnerability. Because I think whether it's investors or whether it's your crew, we're all human. And so if I tell you, oh, there's nothing bad in this, that's not true. There's going to be an upside and a downside.
Yeah.
What's the downside? Let's be real with it. If I don't address the downside, I can't solve it, or I can't come up with a solution for it. So I have to be real about the downside. And then the third thing I think would be is track record. Track record. Investors, people, crew, if they know you've done something before that's come in and out the other side, they have a bit more faith knowing, oh, you can go and do it again. Right? Which is why the only way to do it is go out and do it. Go out and do it. That's the only way, man. It may work, it may not work, but you tried. And there's no harm in saying, I tried.
Everybody's going to appreciate your effort.
Yeah, when you go and do it again and get it successful. No one appreciates the effort when it's unfinished. You know what I mean? It's like when you go back and do it again and they're like, oh, so how'd you do it this time? It's like, bro, we failed 5 times before. Oh, no way. I appreciate that you never gave up. Now you appreciate that we never gave up because we never gave up. Now we're here.
So for someone who's in the process of building or want to build something bigger than themselves, what's the kind of mindset or habit they need to develop?
Consistency. I would start with that. Baby steps. As much as being consistent is hard, and being disciplined can be hard. We also have to be kind to ourselves. I think I'm lucky that I have a very nice bunch of people around me who constantly remind me of this. They remind me of this more than I remind them, which is, Uzi, be kind to yourself. Like you're over pushing it.
Yeah.
And I know I can do that as an artist from time to time where I'm like, no, I'm gonna keep doing this till I get it done. There is no, and they'll be like, you haven't eaten today, or you haven't slept in like 2 days or whatever. And in my head, I'm like, nope, not giving up, getting it done. And they'll come and be like, no, like think about yourself and be kind to yourself. And I think it's a skill I'm also learning through my life, of learning to be accepting to myself rather than punishing myself, which I have known to do personally, where I'm like, nope, you've not done that, so you don't get that. And in my head, that was discipline earlier on, right? It was that karate mindset. If you haven't done 50 push-ups, you don't get to go out and take a break till your 50 push-ups are done.
Right.
I live like that mostly, but then there's a certain time where you're like, hey, if you're injured and you can't do 50, you can do 25, take a break, and you can do 25 later, right? There's balance in there. The people you choose around you are the people you share energy with.
That's right.
You share ideas with, you share culture with, you share your highs and lows, your emotions with. You have to be comfortable to be yourself around those people and for them to be honest with you. And I think that's very important, and knowing when to just be like, you know what, you're right. And I think social media doesn't help. It adds this extra level of pressure, and you're getting this dopamine hit where you're like, oh, I need to do. And it's like, well, do for what? Do for that, or do for the real cause? Are you doing it for the gram, or you're doing it for, the real idea?
Yeah.
What are you doing this for? And I think that's the idea of self-questioning. Yeah, I think it's very important.
So what I got out of it is, for the listeners, that if you want to build something big, you need to start building a team around values instead only based on the skills.
Yes, 100%. You can teach someone skill. You can't teach them how to be a good person. I don't hire based off anyone's CV. Either for me, it's straight feeling of what they are or why they are. Like I'll sit with them for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Sometimes if it's more technical roles, I'll set out a task and ask someone to, hey, can you start doing this task? And we'll give you like an hour or whatever. Usually in the first 10 to 15 minutes, I already have someone making an offer letter or telling them this person's making it or not making it. The task was never meant to be finished. It's set up like that. The task was never meant to have an end. The task was meant to R&D. And I want to see the process of someone going through R&D, which is, oh, I didn't understand this. Can you ask questions? Great. Asking the right questions is a skill. You can't be afraid to ask a question. Oh, I didn't get this. Or someone being honest with like, hey, listen, I thought I could do this in an hour, but it looks like it might take me 3-4 hours. That's honesty. Great. I want that in my team because I want someone to be real with me.
Right.
You know what? You're on board because you know with your mindset how long it's going to take you. From 4, in the process, I will help you come down to 2. It's not a 1-hour job. You think it's a 4-hour job. I will help you get it done in 2 later on. But for now, you can identify this. To me, that's a skill. So that's how I usually hire on the technical side. And the non-technical side, it's purely problem solving in high pressure situations. How do you deal with someone when this happens? Or what was the worst thing that happened to you in the job and how did you deal with it? Because we all have our moments. In my team though, nobody quits. Nobody quits.
Everyone is a hustler.
No, everyone's a dreamer. Everyone's a dreamer. It's a big difference there. Because if everyone's a hustler, that means you're stepping over someone at some point.
That's right.
No, that's not what we want. We want you to dream so that you're never stepping over someone, but we can do it in a way that without stepping over someone, we can still get there, right? And so that takes pure heart, mind, and soul that has to come together. And if you have that in a team, you're gold. I have to learn my skills every day.
Yeah.
I have to go back and learn every day. So I can't expect only my team to be learning, right? I have to learn too. But if they see me learning, automatically they're forced to learn.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, hey, there's a new software out. You guys haven't caught up. Now they'll learn. They'll learn the skill. But I know how they are as people. And that's the most important thing.
I want you to go back a little and tap into when we approached you to come on the podcast.
Yes.
Yes, and you just said yes straight away. You were like, I would love to be a part of it.
So I've been on numerous podcasts, many, 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 many podcasts. You guys were the only ones that came all the way to Abu Dhabi when I was at Bridge.
Yeah.
And you guys came in with this beautiful letter, and it was sealed, and it had a little note on it, and it had this QR code, and you had written out this thing. Effort. I have not seen anyone in Dubai do a podcast request with that much effort. So for me, even before I opened that letter, I told you yes right
Yeah.
away, right?
Yeah.
Like, I had not even seen what's in there.
That's right.
So I had no idea what was in there, which was even more beautiful what was in there. And by the way, I've kept that. I have a little box of stuff that I've kept for my entire career
Oh my God.
of important things that I consider important, and your letter is in that
Oh
box,
my
by the
God.
way.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's because for me, it's like, hey, someone took the time, which I value more than anything, to go and do something and make an effort out of it. At that point, I'm like, I don't care whatever your podcast is.
Yeah.
I'm in. Because thank you to you guys, because you guys made such a wonderful gesture, and not many people do that. I'll get like a DM or like a WhatsApp sometimes. Hey, can you do this? Or, but I really appreciate you guys making
you
that
so
effort. So
much. Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
No, I appreciate you, and I think also it was your journey. There's realism in there, and you can't lie about that.
So, Uzair, what's next for you after you reach the summit? You have won awards, worked with huge projects, and now you're building your own universe. How do you stay inspired and avoid getting complacent?
You said summit. No, I'm still at base camp. I'm just getting started. Like, no, I'm serious. I'm just getting started.
Mhm.
I feel like I got an 18-year training session of how to be an artist and what it takes to be in film. And I feel like currently I'm at the beginning of my career.
Mm.
So like for me, like that's how I see it. I'm like, nobody cares about all of that. Everyone cares about what is the last job and what are you going to do next. So for me, I think the most important thing is being able to, like I said, create, build my universe out, but inspire artists along the way.
Mm.
So one of the things, for example, where I'm doing a feature film called Masala Boba, which I wrote with a friend of mine, and we sold it last year. And the film's between Taiwan and Jordan.
Mhm.
And it's the first time Taiwan and Jordan are coming together government-wise to actually do a film like this.
Oh, wow.
It's an action comedy heist. And again, it's pure culture building,
Mm.
right? And so for me, it's that kind of stuff. It's being able to take everything that I've learned from so many years and then take it up a level of going,
Mm.
okay, how do we do this, but with a little bit more of what we thought was missing back
Mm.
there.
But it's just so interesting, no? I mean, connecting two cultures, like
Yeah.
two different cultures of Jordan and Taiwan.
Yeah. And it's got like, so in the film, we have Bollywood and Hollywood actors
Oh, wow.
in the film, and it's a pure action comedy. So like the cultures blend in.
Yeah.
And so it was so much fun to write. And now when we're going to this phase, we already finished scouting and all of that. And we're like excited to get into this phase of making this, because I'm like, I can't even imagine what this will do culture wise.
Yeah.
You know, for me, this is like the modern day Rush Hour,
Yeah.
like that had this mad culture blend and,
Yeah.
get people to just kind of enjoy the film. And then there's the stuff with my creative universe. My third book is coming out, inshallah, this month. We had a new album that dropped last week, which you can find on Spotify. The artist is called Musa from Water, and that's one of my characters.
Mhm.
It's 7 songs written on 7 stages of the soul, and it's a conversation between Musa from the future in the year 3001
Mm.
and people in the present, and he's
wow.
experiencing the 7 stages of soul of what he experienced and telling the people today. So that's got its own legs inside.
Mm.
At the same time, we're also in post-production right now for a documentary on water. So we spent the last 6 months doing this documentary on water scarcity.
Okay.
It's called Every Living Thing.
Every living thing.
Every Living Thing, yeah. We're in post-production for it now. Hopefully in the next couple months or a few months, we'll find a home for it.
Yeah.
And that's addressing water scarcity issues in the world right now, which is very important for me. And so I'm like, I want to go make a film on this because it's something that I think people are not addressing.
Yeah.
I see it as a play. I see it as a play on humanity. And I find it very unjust that water is being weaponized and being used against human beings, which is a human right. But here's the staggering facts currently, as of today, and we have all the data to back this up, right? From UN, it's online. 1 in 4 people don't have access to clean drinking water today. And in 25 years, they said the current numbers will then look at 5.4 billion people.
Oh my God.
Which is more than half this world. So water scarcity is so big. So we started making this documentary while I was filming in Bangladesh last year. And then we started putting the entire documentary together about 6-7 months ago. But 25th of Jan, this year, last week, there was an article on Reuters in BBC, and it literally headlines, UN warns of water bankruptcy. But it's not being spoken about. It's being hidden in all of the war stuff and all of that stuff. Because I feel like at some point, people don't want us to question the real stuff. And as an artist, I care about that. So I'm like, you know what? Let's go make a film about this. Because why is no one making a film about this? Let's go and document how Nestle owned water rights. Nestle actually lobbied the UN to take it off the human rights category in the year 2000. So it was taken off. Only in the year 2010, water was made a human right. Yeah, till then it wasn't. The UN resolution is in 2010 that was passed.
That's a big eye-opener for me.
You get what I mean?
Yeah.
And so people won't talk about this, but we'll talk about gold and crypto and, the wars and all of that happening. But it's like, let's go down to that baseline. Water is a human right for everybody.
So these wars and everything, they're just creating just to distract
Yeah.
the human beings so
From
that they
asking
can
the real
hide.
question. From asking the real questions. Think of it this way. Today we're talking about terraforming planets and going to Mars and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
If we can't solve a basic human right issue on Earth, how are we going to go live on another planet?
That's true.
And keep in mind, we have solutions to solving these problems.
That's right.
If I tell you one bit of the numbers, you're not going to believe this, but this is factual, backed up. It's in our documentary. The world spends more in military in 1 week, that would take to permanently solve the water crisis issue. We spend 35 times more on alcohol in a year than what it would take to solve water issues. And we won't do it. So as an artist, that's the stuff for me that I look at in the future, right? So yes, it's important for me to make these heroes and create and all of that. But I know that's where my work is.
What's the process of learning and staying ahead of the curve, especially like with tech like AI, NFTs, and Web3?
I think the ability to look ahead comes from pattern recognition. History repeats itself in some way or the other. The mediums change, but the cycle repeats itself. The world witnessed a genocide before, and we've been taught about it in schools and said it'll never happen again. Yet you and I are living in one right now, and it's happening right now. And that's foresight. And not everybody has foresight. I think the ability to have foresight is being able to disconnect from today and step back and observe humanity as a whole. And then you process going, what if I was living in the Amazons? What if I was in Syria? What would I have wanted someone to do for me? Ah, cool. I should do that for them. Right? And that's that ability of being able to go, if I was one of you, what would you want me to do? So without you having to ask, if I was there and if I'm wanting it, I should be able to do it, right? So I think being able to do that keeps you learning. Then research. I think the ability to go down and research what exists and where humanity can go goes a long way. Because don't believe everything you read on the internet. AI is a tool. It's not meant to overtake humanity.
That's right.
We are giving it the power to overtake humanity. If it does, we are allowing it. We are giving it the credentials. But in full honesty, I'm more afraid of human beings than I am of AI. So I think the ability to keep learning and pushing and going through tech is break down what humanity is heading towards
Hmm.
versus what we need,
Hmm.
and then go and ask the right questions.
Hmm. How do you balance ambition with contentment?
I think I'll be content when I die. I think till then, I don't think there's another way. That's why it's called rest in peace.
Hmm.
I'm grateful of where I am, and I'm always grateful of my current position of life. I don't know if that's contentment. I honestly think contentment for me is when my time's done. Till then, I'm here to get something done.
What's your advice to someone who has hit a plateau and he doesn't want to be irrelevant? What's your advice to them?
Go back and do an Ikigai test.
Hmm.
Go back and figure out your Ikigai. Go back and ask yourself what other skills that you have that the world needs. And if you can be of service to another human being, you'll never plateau, because there's a lot of people that need help.
That's right.
We all need help. Even when you die, you need 4 people to carry you. And even that time, you need help.
Yeah.
So we all need help.
Yeah.
If you're plateaued, that means you've probably done enough for yourself. It's time to do something for other people.
That's right.
And if we all did that, there's enough for everybody.
So quickly, we're going to jump to our rapid fire round.
Okay, cool. We have rapid fire. I love it.
Yeah.
Awesome. Cool. Let's do this.
So what's one belief about creativity or success you have changed your mind about?
I know nothing. And I have to keep going back there.
What's a daily practice you can't live without?
Praying.
If you could put one message on a billboard for millions to see, what would it say?
We're spiritual beings having a human experience.
What's a failure you are now grateful for?
All my failures.
If you could give your younger self one piece of advice, what would it be?
Push harder. If you think it's enough, it's not enough. Do a little bit more.
All right. So thank you so much, Uzair.
Cool. That was a quick rapid fire. Amazing.
Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing your journey, the lessons
Thank
you
you.
have learned throughout your journey.
Thank you for having me.
Thank
Thank
you
you
so
for
much.
your amazing story. And I wish you all the best on the podcast. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much, Uzair.
Anytime. My pleasure.